welcome back to the channel. As you can see here behind me, I've got my fence charger box, and I built this little box to keep my charger drier because it was recommended you keep it in a dry place, and it only makes sense, I guess. This is not my charger. I borrowed this one from my dad, and he had never used it, but it's an American Farm Works. So the story is, the reason that I had to borrow this one is because I think it was back about July or August, we was having a thunderstorm, and the lightning hit really close to the house. It actually made our doorbell ring, and we couldn't find any damage or anything. But then a few days later, I noticed that my fence charger wasn't working, and I kind of just put it off, and I've got 2 donkeys in this fence. It's a 2-strand electric fence. It's probably 3 miles worth of wire, and it needed some maintenance. And the donkeys they're really easy to keep. They get hit by that electric fence and they go months before they try it again. But so anyway, the lightning evidently hit my charger, and one of my donkeys started getting out about a month ago. He got out a couple times and I had to put him back up. So after the second time, I decided it's time to go on and get the fence back up to par. So I walked my fence, got all my fence back in the insulators, and got all the sticks off of it and everything, and weed eated around it, which it needed it pretty bad. But like I said, they're not much trouble to keep, so I was kind of putting it off, especially during the hot weather. So anyway, this is the charger that I have, and I have to say that this is a really good charger, and I can testify to that because I've got into the fence before and it hurts. So this is a SE5 made by Parmak or whatever that is. So I forget what the joule output on this is, but it was pretty high, and that was one reason why I went with them, is because I had a bull at the time and I was trying to keep him in, but it didn't work with cows across the road, and so he kept getting out. But yeah, this didn't phase him. So, but anyway, lightning hit this charger and it blew. It's got a replaceable fuse. It blew the fuse right here, and I got another fuse and put in it and plugged it all back up, and it would come on and this digital display would just flash zeros, and I thought maybe that was some sort of a trouble code or something. So anyway, I called and was talking to the technician there at this company, and he said, yeah, there's more internal damage. It passed the fuse and I guess cooked some parts inside. So he said he asked me how long I'd had it, and I told him less than a year, and he said, well, here's our address, just send it to us and it should be under warranty. I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't even realize that it would still be under warranty. So I packaged it up, and sure enough, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it's working. They sent it back to me. I didn't hear anything out of them. They didn't call and ask any questions. So I'm assuming it's fixed. So we're gonna hook it up and see how it's doing. But I want you to listen. This is a 30 mile and this is a 50 mile. But I don't know if you can hear. You hear the clicking? And this light barely lights up. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna get it swapped out, and then I'll let you listen to this other one, and you'll notice the difference. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. You just unplugged it, loosen the ground, and then the fence wire. That's it. Which my dad bought this to put around his fences to keep predators out from the goats. So I've got a couple screws in here. This hangs on them screws. Alright, it's got a red and a black on the side. The black's going to be your ground. Alright, so I've got it all hooked up and I haven't plugged it up yet. Before I do that, I want to double check my ground. I used 3 ground rods, 8 feet apart, because that was the what the book recommended. Right, here's one, still connected. There's another one, still connected. Now that I know that all the ground is connected and looking good, we'll go ahead and plug it up. So you can hear that. So that's quite a bit louder. I don't know if it really matters or not, but in my mind that makes me think that it's hitting a little harder than the other one. Now this display's reading 4.1, 4.5. It says 4 or higher is good for long-haired animals and predator control, and says no action needed. Now this thing goes up to, I'm wanting to say, I think it's 15 or 16, and when my fence is good and clear and there's no nothing against it, no load on it, it will usually read about 9.5. And I have seen it up to about 13. So this is telling me, because I know how this fence, what this normally reads, it's telling me that I've got something on the fence. And I really like this digital readout because of that reason. It tells me how much load's on my fence. Now, like the wind's blowing and it dropped down to 3 point something, so apparently I've got something against my fence. But for right now, it's still hitting to where it says no action needed. So the load's not, it's not being overloaded right now. But I just really want to give this company a shout out, because number one, it's made in USA, and number two, there's no questions asked, warranty, and they fixed it, and obviously it's working, so I'm happy with that. So anyway, I really appreciate, I think it's Parker McCrory Manufacturing. I really appreciate you guys taking care of me. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that one, and I hope that was useful and helped you to make a decision on which brand of electric fence charger you might want to go with. And I highly recommend this one. This is I don't know a lot about them. I really don't. I'm kind of new to all of this stuff. I've not been using them for years and years like a lot of you guys out there have. But this one is a really good charger. I mean, there's not much going to stand up to lightning, so that really, you can't really fault them for that. But what they did was they warranted it, honored their word, and it was a no hassle experience. So I really appreciate them for that. And guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, go down and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.